Well, joining me for some more insight into the state of the global economy is Neil Mackinnon, Global Macro Strategist for VTB Capital. Neil, thank you for joining us today. Those unemployment figures paint a bit of a mixed picture. Overall, you can put whatever spin you like on it, can't you? But is it good news or bad news?
I think the economic situation in the UK is unfortunately not that great. I mean, it's clear that any sort of recovery that we've had over the past year is very fragile, and there's a question mark over its sustainability. And I think what we're seeing in the very latest data is the slippage in consumer confidence that you've reported. And also, I think the cuts in public spending are already beginning to bite. I think there is growing anxiety about job prospects. People are losing their jobs. People in the public sector are having their overtime hours squeezed, maybe losing their jobs. And I think also in terms of the other impact of public sector cuts, people on disability benefits, state benefits, are actually now already finding that they're under threat. So all of this will start to have a negative impact on the economy going forward.
And so is the economy really in a position to withstand these cuts? And George Osborne has told us that they do have to be made. But are we likely, what kind of impact are we likely to see?
Well, I thought it was very interesting last weekend there were press reports that suggested that maybe the government might sort of phase in these spending cuts, and that there's a variety of reasons, some of them nothing to do with economics as to why they may do that. But there is no doubt that fiscal policy, budget policy is being tightened up. We're seeing elsewhere in some Eurozone countries like Ireland and Greece, for example, where the fiscal austerity is actually having a negative impact on the economy. It's pure and simple.
I mean, and if that does happen, because this is a bit of an experiment, I mean, if these budget cuts really do slow down the economy more than we were anticipating, I'm not necessarily talking about double dip here, but if it really slows down, what has the Monetary Policy Committee got left at its disposal to do to try and stimulate the economy if the job cuts remain in place? Well,
this is the dilemma and challenge facing the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee, and committee members like Adam Posen, for example, who I tend to agree with, is suggesting that the Monetary Policy Committee should at the very least keep their options open, entirely sensible. But I think that to offset the potentially negative impact on the economy of budget reductions, getting the deficit back onto some sort of sustainable basis, does mean that the Bank of England has to do its job in maintaining an accommodative monetary policy. So that either means keeping interest rates lower for longer, sending out that message, or it means doing more quantitative easing, perhaps spreading out the net rather than just focusing on gilt-edged securities, doing what the Fed has done and taking a leaf out of their book, and following a programme of credit easing.
Neil Mackinnon, thank you very much indeed.